Hello, everybody. This is Blue Knight 7 here today with episode 12 of the Blue Knight cast. I've noticed I've been starting to get some views, and just wanted, if you're listening to this, I just wanted to say thank you. And please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I am trying to grow, and I have a goal of trying to reach 1,000 followers and monetization this year. I hope to just reach it quick and set another goal, but for now that is the goal. And I hope you enjoy this. I'm trying to keep the content going out regular. And right now, in the last episode yesterday, I went through my own personal thoughts and predictions about what we would see out of a Metroid Prime 4. Reveal and the game itself, and I'm going to try to just stay in that groove for a bit, if that's okay, and talk about some other games that we will more than likely see in the April 2nd Switch 2 Direct reveal extravaganza, whatever you want to call it. And so it's sort of my way of counting down or getting to there. And today I wanted to talk about the game that everybody expects to see at this point, just because Nintendo's already teased it and it's just kind of obvious at this point. But Mario Kart. I'm going to call it Mario Kart 9, but we don't even know the title. All we've had so far is a few-second teaser, and it was part of the Switch 2 reveal teaser. And if I remember correctly, it only showed about 3 seconds of footage. And everybody's tried to parse it out and analyze it. The big takeaways, I think, people agree on is it is definitely a Switch 2 game, and there's a lot of graphics and lighting effects and 24 racers on the track at the same time. And the characters clearly have new revised character designs, probably more in line with what we saw in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I'm thinking Wonder is going to be remembered years from now as the game that kind of shifted the art direction of the mainline Mario games. And I'm probably going to stick to that theory until obviously proven otherwise. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we did see in that 3 seconds, what I think we didn't see, and maybe and just sort of where I think this game will fall in the Switch 2 pantheon. But obviously I think it'll be a launch game because it's the first thing they showed. Now, historically, Mario Kart, and I'm going back to the Super NES when I speak, but Mario Kart has always been this game that releases in like year 1, year 2 of a console life cycle. It's sort of a priority game. It generally sells, that's why you see it every time. And in more recent entries, online play is kind of expected and it's put in some way. And most Mario Karts have some kind of I don't know if gimmick is the proper word, but they have their own little hook. Just something to try to make them a little distinct as far as gameplay. Notable ones, Double Dash for having 2 drivers on each kart. Mario Kart Wii just for implementing motion controls. Mario Kart 8, which, keep in mind, it was a Wii U game that was then you could say remastered or made as a deluxe edition for Switch. Its original hook on Wii U is you had these sections of the track where you hover over them F-Zero style. And of course that carried over into MK8 Deluxe on Switch, with, I guess you could say, Deluxe's hook is having more content, more drivers, levels, or tracks, but also just having this like a console style Mario Kart on the go. So you could say a massive upgrade from what Mario Kart 7 was on 3DS in a sense, but also just a truly deluxe version of what came on Wii U, especially after all the DLC tracks. And I'll just start with saying that I think a major difference we'll see with this game, and what I think could be part of the hook or the gimmick for this Mario Kart 9, besides having 24 racers on the track at once. That's kind of a big deal in itself. But I think a big deal here may be track design, in that no, you could not tell much from the 3 seconds, and you could be totally wrong from the 3 seconds. But Good Vibes Gaming did a real intense analysis of the 3 seconds we're talking about. Like, it's ridiculous. But it was actually very thorough. And something they noticed that I fully agree with is that it appears like there could be multiple tracks laid out in an open 3D environment. So in a way, it could be something like Forza Horizon. No, I'm not saying this is going to be Mario Kart Forza, but it could be like the 3 seconds we saw a desert area, and they were going down a highway in a desert, basically. But there were places where it looked like there were dirt tracks too. Could they have been shortcuts to the track you were racing on? I guess. But it also seems to be possible that they were alternate tracks within that, I'll call it a sandbox environment. So we may have something here where you have the desert area. Maybe there's multiple tracks laid out within that desert area. And, different races, different cups, different tracks within that area. That way there's a couple reasons for doing that, I would think. One would be they're putting a lot of resources into that one sandbox area as they develop, and they're getting multiple tracks out of their investment for the time they spent making a quality sandbox area. I think it helps graphics. I think it helps development efficiency. That may be what they're going for here. Now, also note, it was a vast open area. And to me, it's like, even if it was a closed loop track that the karts were racing on, it's a huge closed loop track. It's not one where you can kind of see where it loops around. So I'm going to make a guess, and this goes again to what I'm saying is the hook of this game. I think there's going to be more in the way of road courses in this game. By road course, I mean, instead of doing laps, you're getting from point A to point B fast as you can. Think like Burnout Paradise. You know, your starting line is somewhere in Paradise. You know, Paradise City. You're racing to get to another point on the large sandbox map. I think that's maybe more what we're seeing here. And once you do that, who knows? Maybe the desert area turns into another area, grassy area, mountainous area, to the coast. I think there's a lot of possibilities here for what's going on if they make again, like a large sandbox environment to race in. Am I getting a little ambitious here? Sure. Could it be done? Why not? Racing games are not the most demanding, to my understanding, from a developer perspective. That's why you see things like Project Cars, Forza, Gran Turismo, so on, F-Zero even, for the like F-Zero GX or F-Zero X, let's say. Even on Super NES, truthfully, were graphical showcases for their respective consoles. So, and Mario Kart's never a slouch in the graphics department, any of its releases. Even on the Super NES, I mean, Mario Kart, F-Zero, they both used Mode 7 to do something that couldn't be done before them. And while I'm not saying it's that kind of innovative, it would be innovative for the franchise at this point to do that. And I just think it would create some experiences we haven't seen before in Mario Kart. So that's kind of my running theory. Another thing that supports this theory, and this was I believe this was part of their analysis, but other people have pointed this out on X or different places. The carts, the new designs on the carts that were used, all seem to have pronounced fuel tanks. And there's a part towards the end of the teaser clip that shows them near look like a diner or a gas station, and you could drive through and collect items, and it may be nothing, but there's a lot of speculation that maybe there's a fuel system with these carts. It wouldn't surprise me. And if you're doing a longer, more massive, like road course track or a cross country track, see where I'm going here. Fuel management may be a thing. Do you skip the, if you know this point where you can refuel is coming, do you slow down, go off the track to refuel, or do you try to charge on to the next one? That could be a interesting risk-reward mechanic to use. F-Zero has done something like that since the beginning, only it was more about recharging your shield, your health, by going into that health regeneration strip every lap. It's sort of like a pit stop, though you keep moving. I wonder if they're doing something like that here, where you refuel just to, you have to just to make sure you complete the race. But how do you manage your time spent refueling? Just how do you manage that? That could be the gameplay mechanic that also feeds into the new environments that you're racing in. And so am I giving you two gimmicks? I guess, but really it's one. And what I think this is this is something more like a rally race or a cross-country race. where you're going from point A to point B. This is kind of, this will probably feel more like Cruising USA when it's done, is what I think is going on here. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that would be unique. I hope I'm right. I hope everything I've said is right and what everybody else has said is right. Because I think it would be a truly unique Mario Kart experience we haven't seen yet. That's the challenge. That really is the challenge for Mario Kart 9. Like, I'm sure it'll be good. I'm not trying to be a naysayer. I'm sure it will be good. But if you want to give it something different after about 11 years, to me, that's how you would do it. You change the dynamics of the race. You have 24 racers. You have a road course through a long, kind of a massive environment. Let's go. Don't run out of fuel. I think that's what we're getting. Now, the drawback to what I just said is it might limit what you have for traditional Mario Kart races. But I think some of those environments might have closed loop tracks too. I don't think, just because I said all that, I don't think there won't be any closed loop tracks. And I still think there may be cups where they bring back the old tracks, which are about 99% closed loop. And you just get to see Moo Moo Meadows one more time with Switch 2 graphics, and I like Moo Moo Meadows. Let's race it again. That's kind of what I think. You're going to have the old stuff in there, but the draw is going to be these larger cross-country races. We'll see. I don't have a strong opinion as far as racers or drivers, karts, the content. Will we see characters that's never been in there before? Probably. I think Pauline has already been spotted as a racer, and I'm sure there'll be a few more surprises, but I think what most people would want is something where they just grab every driver that's been in a Mario Kart before and bring them back. I wasn't totally keen on having, I'm not totally keen on having a bunch of third-party or non-Mario characters in there. Having Link and the Inklings from Splatoon in Mario Kart 8 was cool. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed having Link there on his motorcycle. Wouldn't mind him making a comeback, but I just think they need to make this a very pure Mario Kart experience. Of course, bring in the DK characters. I think Diddy needs to be driving. Bring in Funky and Cranky and Dixie. But if you want to bring in a third party, bring in Captain Falcon. We need to know he's still alive. But I think if they do anything, it's probably just make sure they have a lot of characters that you have seen in Mario Kart already before. Like, try to make sure. I think Nintendo has gotten smarter about that over the years. Like, that's what a lot of people want. And I think they're going to try to make sure everybody gets shored up for this one. And I do think when we're done, it's going to be the ultimate Mario Kart. It's going to be the one that outdoes Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as far as critical reception. Sales. I don't know. and I don't even have the exact number in my head at time of recording. I should have looked it up. But Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is without question the highest grossing Nintendo Switch game for sales. That truly was the biggest cash cow Nintendo had for the Switch era, especially when you consider it was basically a remastered deluxe version of the game for the failed Wii U. The investment in the Wii U game ultimately became the Switch's highest seller. So it's hard for me to say this one will outperform Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's probably safer to assume that it will not. But it will definitely be an evergreen for Switch 2. And why did it sell so well, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? It had a real high attach rate amongst Switch owners. Switch had a large install base, and every holiday it was basically the pack-in game on any Black Friday Switch deals or holiday Nintendo Switch purchase deals. A lot of people bought it just because they were buying a Switch. But also, a lot of people just bought it, period. And my reason why, when you figure in all the content tracks, it really was like when we say Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, this was the ultimate Mario Kart for the time that it has been up and running. So that's my prediction. I'll give you one last one, and it's probably not going to happen, but what are they going to call this thing? Mario Kart 9 is kind of obvious. I know some people think not, because the new Mario Kart we got this last gen was the one they made for mobile. Mario Kart X, Mario Kart 10, I can't rule it out. I'm going to go with what I think, though. If I'm right about the tracks, I think this would be the perfect name. Mario Kart Rally. You heard it here. With that, I'm going to conclude this episode of the Blue Knight Cast. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you've been enjoying this. I'm going to try to hit a few other games that we'll probably see on April 2nd and do more discussions like this. Again, I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please share if you're enjoying this. I'm just trying to get this going. I'm trying to get this growing. I'm trying to see if I can make something out of this. Thank you again, and have a good day.